The sky over Erelon was pale green as dawn broke across the city. In the narrow streets, lanterns hung from twisted metal poles. Soft hum of machinery mingled with voices calling for help. Families gathered outside low stone buildings. There, children lay on simple mats beneath cloth canopies. Fever raged in their small bodies. Each breath came with a groan. Parents whispered prayers to forgotten gods. Deep inside the largest healer hall, Commander Alex Hunter paced. He wore a plain uniform dyed in muted gray. His face bore the lines of many battles, but his eyes held sorrow. He had led legions against alien invaders. He had built bridges of peace. Now he stood helpless before this sickness. Inside the hall, alien healers moved through narrow aisles. They carried vials of glowing liquid and woven bundles of roots. Their hands glowed faintly, blue as they channeled energy to the children. Each healer spoke soft words in a lilting tone. They drew symbols in the air that shimmered then faded. Yet the fever did not break. On a low table, a child named Lumo lay still. His pale blue skin had turned ashen gray. His breathing was shallow. His mother, Tarum, held his hand. She moved her fingers in a song of comfort. Tears mixed with the dust on her cheeks. She begged the healers to save him. Hunter knelt by the table. He reached out and touched the child's brow. His hand felt hot. Hunter felt a deep ache in his chest. He whispered to Tarum, "I will find help for your son." His voice trembled. He did not know how. Outside the hall, the city buzzed with worry. Guard patrols kept watch on the perimeter of the quarantine zone. No one without a pass could leave or enter. Traders in the market whispered rumors of children turning to stone. They claimed the disease ate flesh like acid. Mothers cradled their young and spoke of dying stars. Deep below the city in ancient tunnels, records lay hidden. Old traces of a cure had vanished over centuries. The illness was old as time on Erelon. Alien scholars had once recorded a remedy. But those scrolls had been lost in a war long ago. Now only fragments remained. In the council chamber, Siren, the alien leader, stood before silver pillars. She held a staff topped with a crystal orb. Behind her, the council watched in silence. Bald and tall, they wore robes that told their rank. Serenity was a rarity here. Siren's voice echoed through the hall. She asked for reports on the sickness. "How many children have been claimed?" she said. One advisor answered, 40 have died, 30 more fall each day." Murmurs rose in the chamber. Some council members bowed their heads in grief. Others clenched their fists in anger. One elder spoke. "We have called every healer. We have tried every chant. I fear this plague may end our line." The council fell silent again. Hunter had been invited to speak. He rose and unrolled a datapad. Hunter pointed to images of the sick children. He said, "I have seen diseases on many worlds. I know of a healer on Earth who might help." A gasp ran through the chamber. An Earth healer was forbidden in their tradition. Alien pride kept them from asking human aid, but the sickness showed no mercy. Children from every district fell ill. Markets quieted as fear spread. Healers worked around the clock beneath lantern light. They drank bitter tea to stay awake. They studied the pulse of each child, but the fever only grew stronger. Back at the healer hall, Hunter met Siren in a side room. Lantern light flickered against walls carved with symbols of life. Hunter said to Siren, "I beg you to allow me to seek human aid." Siren looked at him with sorrow and pride. She replied, "Our laws forbid human intervention. We are proud of our heritage. To call for human help is to admit failure." Hunter bowed his head. "Failure is already here," he said. "Our children suffer every moment we wait." Siren closed her eyes. Tears gathered at the corners of her lids. She took a deep breath. When she spoke again, her voice was quiet but firm. "We will send for the healer from Earth. Bring hope to our people. But know this, if she fails, our world is lost." As dawn light grew stronger, Hunter felt a spark of relief. He stepped outside and looked at the city. The green sky shone brighter. For the first time in many days he dared to hope. Soon a human healer would arrive. Perhaps she would save the children of Erelon. Through the shimmering veil of the council portal, a small craft emerged. Its hull was smooth and white, marked only with a simple Earth flag. Mia Wright stood at the viewport, her light brown hair held back by a cloth band. She felt both awe and worry as she looked out at the alien city. A soft voice spoke through the comm. "You have arrived, Dr. Wright," said Commander Alex Hunter. His tone was calm but urgent. Mia stepped forward and replied, "I am here to help. Show me the children." The craft settled in a landing bay beneath towering spires of silver metal. Hunter led Mia through wide corridors lined with glowing panels. Siron waited in the council chamber. Her pale purple skin shone in the dim light. Around her, advisors watched quietly. Mia bowed her head slightly. "Thank you for allowing me to come," she said. Siron nodded. "Our hope rests with you," she replied. They moved to the healer hall. Lanterns dangled from metal beams. Mats were laid in rows on the floor. Each mat held a child wrapped in light blankets. The air smelled of incense and medicine. Mia knelt next to a small girl named Lila. The girl's skin was dull, and her eyes were half closed. Mia placed a gentle hand on her forehead. She felt heat and a faint rhythm in the child's pulse. She said softly to Siren, "This fever is unlike any I have seen. It is not purely biological. There is an energy field linked to the disease." The alien healers looked surprised. Siren asked, "Can you explain?" Mia took a small device from her bag and projected a glowing pattern into the air. Lines of blue and green circled the child's form. "The illness binds to biofield energy," Mia explained. "To cure it, we must rebalance both cells and energy flow." An alien healer, Rill, stepped forward. "We have tried to shift energy with chance," he said. "But the disease resists," Mia smiled gently. "I respect your methods. I only asked to add human techniques," Rill bowed. "We welcome your insight." In a quiet corner, Drail, a young scholar, observed Mia with bright eyes. He asked, "Doctor, how do you treat this on Earth?" Mia answered, "We combine cell therapy with energy medicine. I use a serum drawn from Earth plants and adjust energy with machines." Drail looked at her bag. She unpacked vials and a small handheld scanner. Siren watched as Mia scanned Lila. A soft hum filled the hall. Numbers floated on the scanner's screen. Mia spoke to Hunter. "The child's biofield is collapsed. The serum should help cells repair. But we must guide her energy too." Hunter nodded. "We can channel energy through our healers." Mia drew a small syringe filled with pale green liquid. She turned to Rill and said, "May I proceed?" Rill led her to the child's side. The watchers held their breath. Mia cleaned the child's arm with a small cloth. She injected the serum slowly. Layla twitched her fingers. Mia placed the handheld device above the child's chest. Faint beams of light pulsed from its tip. Rill joined, placing his hands on Lila's sides. A soft glow appeared around the child. Moments later, Lila exhaled, and her cheeks colored with pale blue. The glow around her faded, and the hiss of her shallow breathing deepened. The room filled with relieved whispers. Siren exhaled a long breath and placed her hand on Mia's shoulder. "You have given us hope," she said. Mia smiled, though her eyes were tired. Outside the hall, the city gates opened for a moment. Soldiers carried fresh supplies of herbs from deep forests. Traders brought in special mineral salts. Hunter guided the shipments to the lab area. Mia set up benches and microscopes. Drail organized looted scrolls he had found in the ancient archives. Together, Mia and Drail examined patterns in the old texts. They translated passages that hinted at a rare root called Kalen. The root grew under black stones in the forest. Mia and Hunter prepared to gather samples. Siren approved the mission, sending a small escort team. As dusk fell, the city lights glowed like stars. Mia felt the weight of the night air. She walked through quiet streets with Drail and 2 guards. The forest lay beyond tall walls. They moved through gates and along dusty paths. The trees whispered above them. In the darkness, Mia shone a lamp on the forest floor. Fern-like plants covered the ground. She called softly, "Kalen?" And soon, Her light caught twisted roots near a rocky outcrop. She knelt and dug gently, revealing pale roots that shimmered faintly. Drail knelt beside her. "This must be it," he said. Mia wrapped roots in cloth and placed them in a sample jar. She smiled at Drail. "You have been a fine guide," she said. Drail's face glowed. "I only serve my people," he replied. They returned to the city by torchlight. In the lab, Mia extracted compounds from the kaolin roots. She mixed them with the serum she had. The liquid turned a soft blue. She poured the mixture into vials and labeled them carefully. Siren visited the lab. She watched Mia work with steady hands. "Will this cure the disease?" she asked. Mia looked up and said, "It is a strong candidate. We must test it on controlled samples, but I believe it will work." Siren nodded and touched her crystal staff to the bench. The room glowed faintly. Back at the healer hall, the children rested. In quiet, the fever had slowed, but some still struggled. Mia stood by their side, ready with new vials. Hunter offered water and comfort to each family. The partnership between human and alien healers grew stronger. Mia paused in the doorway. She looked at the rows of sleeping children and whispered. To herself, "I will not let them down." The moon rose over Arelon, shining silver. Inside the city, hope had taken root. Mia began her third day in the lab before dawn. She moved quietly between tables covered in vials and samples. Drail arrived soon after, carrying notes from the archives. They planned to test the new serum on a group of 4 children who had milder symptoms. Hunter and Reel stood nearby, ready to assist. The healer hall was silent as the children were brought in. Mia met each child with a gentle smile. She knelt beside a boy named Pharaoh. His breathing was shaky, but his fever had eased slightly since the first treatment. She spoke softly. "I will help you, little one." Drail held Pharaoh's hand as Mia prepared the syringe. Mia explained to Ril, "We start with a low dose of the new serum. We watch for any reaction. If all goes well, we increase the amount next time." Ril nodded and pressed his palms together in respect. He said, "We trust your skill." The first child received the injection. Mia and Drail watched the child's face for any sign of pain. Pharaoh closed his eyes and shivered. Ril placed his hands on Pharaoh's chest, drawing energy in gentle circles. After a moment, Pharaoh opened his eyes and gave a small smile. The fever had dropped further. Next was a girl named Vessa. She had pale purple freckles on her cheeks. Mia injected the serum while Ril chanted the healing tone. Vessa coughed and gasped, then settled into sleep. Hunter checked her pulse and said, "Steady rhythm, the serum works." The third child, a boy named Terran, had deeper wounds from the disease. His skin crackled in places. Mia hesitated, then drew more serum into the syringe. Ril clenched his jaw. "Be careful," he said. Mia nodded and injected slowly. Terran screamed as heat shot through his arm. Mia stepped back, worried. Drail placed his hands on Terran's sides. Energy glowed bright around the child. The scream turned into a gasp, then silence. Mia watched Terran's chest rise and fall. Ril called out, "The fever is retreating. His pain will fade." Mia held Ril's gaze, thankful for his support. By midday, 3 of the 4 children showed clear improvement. Only Terran remained weak but stable. Mia felt hope grow in her chest. She turned to Hunter and said, "We can refine the serum. I will increase the kaolin extract for Terran." Hunter brought fresh kaolin root to the lab. Mia ground it into fine powder and measured it precisely. Drail recorded every value in his data scroll. The hall bustled with new energy as healers brought samples and prepared fresh blankets for the children. In the afternoon, Mia ventured to the archive room with Drail. Ancient texts lined the shelves. Mia studied a scroll that spoke of a second plant, moonbloom, which could strengthen biofield shields. Drail found a cracked jar of preserved seeds. They agreed to plant them in the garden for future use. Back in the healer hall, the mood shifted when an alarm rang. Guards entered with news. A new cluster of children in the northern district had fallen ill. The sickness spread faster there. Hunter frowned and said, We face a new wave. We must help them soon. Siren arrived at the hall. Her face was stern. She asked Mia, "Can your serum stop this mutated wave?" Mia replied, "The core of the disease is the same, but we must adapt dosage and energy focus." Siren nodded and gave orders to prepare transport shuttles. The sun set, Mia and Rill packed supplies. 4 healers and 2 guards joined them. The shuttles carried them across the city. The northern district was a tangle of broken paths and half-collapsed walls. Quiet lamplight illuminated houses with red roofs. In one home, a group of 5 children lay huddled. Their breaths were shallow. Mia knelt and scanned their biofields. The patterns glowed red at the edges. She said to Rill, "The energy fields are constricted. We need to clear blockages first." Ril produced a vial of silver dust. He sprinkled it around the doorway and chanted a clearing verse. The dust sparkled and drifted in circles. The children's forms seemed to ease. Mia then injected the serum into 2 children. Rill placed his hands on the other 3, directing energy. Hunter kept watch by the door. The guards tended jars of kaolin extract and water. A sudden tremor shook the house. Dust fell from the ceiling, the walls cracked. Soldier Thomas shouted. "We must move back," Hunter barked orders. Mia held the children's arms and called out, "Stay calm, I am here." The crack widened and part of the wall fell. Rill pulled the children back. One child cried out. Mia rushed to him and held his face. Gently. She whispered, "You are safe now." Drail helped the child sit up. The earthquake had passed. The team worked quickly to lift rubble and 10 minor wounds. Hours later, the children lay on mats beneath healing lanterns. The serum and energy work had begun to ease their fevers. Mia checked each pulse and wrote notes. Rill praised her method. "Your human techniques strengthen our way," he said. As they prepared to return to the city, Mia looked at the faces of the healed children. Hope and relief shone in their eyes. She felt a deep satisfaction. Hunter approached and said, "You saved them tonight." Mia shook her head. "We saved them together," she replied. Drail smiled broadly. The alliance of human and alien healers felt stronger than ever. Back at the lab, Mia mixed another batch of serum for the next test. She recorded the night's events in her log. She wrote, "New wave treated, some side effects in heavy cases. Need higher biofield support." She closed her datapad and stood outside. The sky over Arelon was dark blue with scattered stars. Lanterns glowed in the streets. Mia walked alone to the healer hall. She paused at the entrance and listened to distant chants. She whispered, "May tomorrow bring full recovery. May our hope never fade." Dawn broke over Arelon with soft pink light. Mia woke early and walked to the healer hall. She carried fresh serum and kaolin extract. Inside, Drail and Rill sorted supplies. The children rested quietly on mats. Some slept, others watched the newcomers. With shy eyes, Hunter entered and reported on the city. "The sickness slowed last night. Fewer cases came in." Mia nodded. "We must use this time to refine the cure. Today we test on children with severe symptoms." Rill and Drail agreed. They set up 3 stations in the lab area. The first child was Lumo. His skin remained pale and his energy field was weak. Mia injected a higher dose of serum mixed with extra kaolin. Rill placed crystals around the table to stabilize energy. He chanted a soft healing verse. Lumo's body trembled, but his eyes flickered with life. Drail monitored the scanners. He called out numbers. Biofield strength rising by 15%. Mia smiled and watched Lumo's chest rise in deeper breaths. Hunter offered water to Lumo's parents. They wept tears of gratitude. The second child, Vessa, had scars from the illness on her arms. Mia gently massaged a balm made from kaolin root into the wounds before injecting the serum. Rill held her other arm and guided energy into the flesh. Vessa winced but then relaxed, her breathing growing steady. Between treatments, Mia spoke with Siren in her private study. Walls glowed with carvings of ancient healers. Siren asked, "How long before we can stop this disease altogether?" Mia answered, With today's tests, we will have data to produce a mass treatment. Perhaps a week more, Siren sighed in relief. She said, "Our people will remember you forever." Mia felt both pride and sadness at the thought of leaving soon. Back in the hall, the third child, Terran, lay on a special bed. His body was weak, but he had shown improvement since Part 3. Mia prepared an ice-cold solution of kaolin extract and introduced it through the syringe slowly. Rill stood guard and chanted deeper tones. The room filled with glowing blue light. Terran's eyes opened wide and he reached for Mia's hand. She smiled and squeezed his fingers. Hunter recorded the heart rate improving. "We see a strong response," he said. Drayle nodded and added notes. To his scroll, a sudden tremor shook the building. Beams creaked and dust fell. Mia steadied Terran and Rill guided energy to shield them. Outside, alarms rang. Soldiers and guards rushed past the windows. Hunter ran to the door and shouted updates. "Citadel walls are under attack. Pirates have landed near the eastern gates." Mia's heart raced. She looked at the children and said, "We must protect them." Rill and Drayle formed a circle around the beds and concentrated energy to build a barrier. The glow of their hands cast long shadows. Hunter returned with 2 soldiers. He said, "The pirates aim to steal our medicine. We must keep the hall secure." Mia stood and grabbed a vial of serum. She handed it to Hunter. "Take this batch to the safe vault." Hunter nodded and ran down the corridor. Inside the hall, the healers held their ground. A loud clash echoed from outside. The barrier held firm. The children continued to rest undisturbed. Mia bent down and checked Terran's pulse. It was steady. Ril asked Mia, "What do we do if the barrier fails?" Mia shook her head. "We trust our healing." "We trust each other," Drayle added. "We have seen hope triumph over fear." Their words renewed courage. After an hour, the tremors stopped. Silence fell. Hunter returned with news. "The pirates have been repelled. Our soldiers defended the gates." Siren arrived with a small escort. She entered the hall and her eyes shone with relief. She said, "You all have protected the hearts of our world." Healers bowed their heads. In the quiet that followed, Mia and Rill completed the final tests of the day. Vesa and Lumo showed no signs of fever. Terran's wounds closed and his energy field glowed bright. Mia collected samples to analyze overnight. Before leaving, Mia knelt by each child and whispered words of comfort. She said to Lumo, "Tomorrow you will laugh and play." To Vesa, "Your strength is your gift." To Terran, "You are brave beyond measure." The children smiled and closed their eyes. Outside, Siren and Hunter escorted Mia back to her quarters. Lanterns lined the paths. Siren paused under an arch of flowering vines. She touched Mia's arm and said, "Your courage is as strong as your skill." Mia smiled tiredly and replied, "And your people's faith is my greatest gift." They parted with a nod of respect. As night deepened, Mia returned to the lab. She studied samples under the scanner, noting success rates. She wrote in her log, 4 of 6 severe cases responded well today. Energy barriers held, no adverse reactions. Mass treatment possible in 5 days. She closed her eyes and leaned back in her chair. Outside, the city slept under a silent sky. Inside, hope glowed, stronger than ever. Mia knew the path was still long, but she felt ready for what the next dawn would bring. The next morning, the city of Erlon awoke to clear skies. Sunlight glimmered on the silver spires. Mia entered the healer lab carrying fresh kaolin roots and serum vials. Drayle and Rill greeted her with eager smiles. Hunter arrived with news from across the city. "New cases have fallen to 10, he said. "No children have died in 2 days. Mia nodded and said, "Today we scale up. We treat groups of 10 with mass doses." Rail placed protective crystals on the benches. Drayle lined up 10 mats for the children. The first group arrived from the southern district. Mothers carried their children, weak but alive. Mia knelt to greet each child by name, Lara, Samin, Ora, and others. She smiled kindly and said, "I am here to help you heal." The children watched her with tired eyes. Mia explained the procedure to Rill and Drayle. We will adjust the serum for body weight and energy needs. I need your chance and energy focus to surround each child. Rill and Drail bowed and took positions at either side of the benches. Mia moved along the row, measuring each child and injecting serum. She worked steadily, her hands steady and sure. Rill and Drail chanted softly, hands glowing as they guided the energy flow. The air filled with soft light. After the treatment, mothers cradled their children as they rested. Some dozed, others gazed around with faint smiles. Hunter recorded their vital signs. Drail spoke softly to a little girl named Aura. Energy is rising, he said. Your field is strong again. In a corner, Siren watched the process. Her eyes filled. With hope, she spoke to Mia. Your methods blend well with ours. We grow stronger together. Mia placed a hand on Siren's arm and said, Your people's wisdom guides my hands. Together we save lives. Midday came, and the healers worked without pause. A gentle breeze blew through open windows. Soft sounds of life returned to the hall. Laughter from a healed child echoed in the distance. Mia paused, closing her eyes to savor the sound. Outside, soldiers guarded the city gates. Traders offered fruit and herbs to support the healers. Children played under watchful eyes, their laughter light. The sick lay resting, but the mood held. A calm optimism. In the afternoon, Mia retreated to her quarters. She wrote in her log, Mass Treatment Day. 10 children treated, no adverse reactions, energy field stable. Plan to double group size tomorrow. She added notes for adjusting. Kalen dosage and serum concentration. Dral entered with a scroll in hand. He said, A shipment of moonbloom seeds arrived from the archive. We can grow plants for future treatments. Mia's face lit up. Excellent, let us prepare a garden. Together they moved to a small greenhouse near the lab. Inside the greenhouse, sunlight filtered through glass panels, soil beds lay ready. Mia and Drail planted seeds in neat rows. Drail whispered ancient words from the scroll. The seeds glowed faintly as they settled into the earth. Ril joined them, carrying water infused with kaolin extract. He watered the beds gently. These plants will grow fast under our care, he said. Mia smiled, imagining fields of medicinal plants. Back in the hall, hunters and guards delivered fresh food to the healers. Hunter offered Mia a tray of fruit. She accepted and ate a piece slowly, savoring the sweet taste. Rill joked softly, and Mia laughed, her first true laugh since arriving. As evening fell, the hall quieted. Healers worked on final cases. Mia treated the last group of the day. Mothers thanked her with quiet bows. Mia replied, It is my honor to serve you and your children. Tears glistened in the mother's eyes. Later that night, Mia met Siren in the council chamber. Oil lamps cast warm light on carved pillars. Siren said, The council has decided to adopt your cure as our standard treatment. You will train our healers before you leave. Mia bowed gratefully. Seren continued, As a token of our gratitude, I offer you our highest honor, the Crystal of Life. She raised a small crystal that glowed with inner light. Mia accepted with a bow. The crystal pulsed softly in her hand. Hunter entered with Drail and Rill. They knelt before Siren. She placed the crystal in front of them. May this bind our worlds in peace and healing, she said. The group bowed. Mia held the crystal close and whispered, This belongs to all our children, to remind them of hope. Rill nodded. Your kindness will live in our hearts forever. Drail added, And your science, in our future works. As Mia returned to her quarters, she placed the crystal on her desk. She looked at it, glowing softly. She whispered, One more step. Soon we finish this fight. She lay down, exhausted but hopeful. Outside, Erelon rested under a sky full of stars. Within the city, healing light shone brighter than ever. The morning sun rose over Erelon as Mia prepared for her final day. She walked through silent corridors toward the healer hall. The city felt alive with hope. Lanterns glowed blue at each corner, a gift from Siren to honor the new era of healing. Inside the hall, rows of children rested on mats beneath soft lights. Many had fully recovered. Laughter drifted from a group playing near the windows. Mia felt a tug in her heart. Today she would say goodbye to those she had come to love. Hunter entered. With Drail and Rill, he held a datapad showing the latest reports. Mia read the figures: new cases 0, recovery rate 100%, mortality rate 0. The council had declared the disease eradicated. Cheers rose in the hall as healers embraced one another. Siren entered wearing robes of pale blue silk. Behind her walked families carrying baskets of fruit and flowers. She approached Mia and spoke in a clear voice. Today we celebrate not only the end of a plague, but the friendship between our worlds. A soft murmur of agreement filled the hall. Siren raised her crystal staff. Light pulsed from the orb atop it, shining on the gathered people. She said, "For your courage and skill, I grant you a place in our history. You will be forever known as the human healer of Erelon." The crowd bowed their heads respectfully. Mia knelt and placed a hand on the shoulder of a young boy named Pharaoh. He had been among the first treated. His skin was now a vibrant pale blue and his energy field glowed warmly. Pharaoh looked up and said, "Thank you, Dr. Mia. You saved me." Mia smiled and said, "You saved my heart, little one." After the ceremony, Siren led Mia to a balcony overlooking the city square. Families filled the plaza, dancing to soft music from alien instruments. Stalls sold sweet treats and colorful ribbons. Children ran through fountains of glowing water. Mia watched the scene and felt tears in her eyes. Serenity and joy filled her soul. Hunter joined her, placing a hand on her. "Back, you did it, Mia," he said softly. Mia nodded, her voice catching. "We did it together," she replied. The celebration continued as Mia visited the healing greenhouse. Moonbloom flowers had opened overnight, white petals shimmering like stars. Kalen plants swayed gently in the breeze. Drail and Rill showed her their care. "These plants will feed our people for years," Drail said. "Your work made this possible." Rhea placed a hand on a moonbloom petal. "They are beautiful," she said. "They are our living thanks." The three smiled under the greenhouse sky. Later, Mia packed her belongings in a simple case. She folded her lab coat and placed the crystal of life on top. Each item reminded her of the journey: the Kalen root samples, her scanner, and a small, woven bracelet made by alien children. Hunter arrived to escort her to the shuttle. He carried her case and offered her a seat in the craft. The shuttle engines hummed softly. Mia took a deep breath and looked back at the city. She saw Siren standing. With Drail and Rill waving goodbye. The shuttle lifted. Erelon grew small beneath the blue sky. The city lights shimmered like gems. Mia felt a ripple of sadness and pride. She whispered to herself, "Farewell, my friends. May our worlds stay united." Hunter sat beside her and nodded. In the cockpit, the pilot adjusted the flight path toward Earth. Mia closed her eyes and rested. She imagined the faces of the healed children and the warm glow of their energy fields. She felt peace knowing they would thrive. On the journey home, Mia prepared her report for Earth Council. She wrote of the serum, the energy methods, and the unity that saved lives. She included data on Kalen and Moonbloom, hoping Earth would study them further. When the stars outside the viewport began to shift, Mia opened her eyes. She saw the first bright point of light from Earth. Her heart leaped. Soon she would share her story with people on her homeworld. At dawn on Earth, Mia stepped onto a platform surrounded by scientists and leaders. She held the crystal of life. She spoke into the microphone, her voice calm yet strong. "Our greatest cure is hope and friendship. May we always seek both in times of need." Applause thundered. Seconds later, a young girl in the crowd held up a drawing of an alien child with pale blue skin holding a human hand. Mia spotted it and smiled. She raised the crystal and pointed to the drawing. Cheers rose again. Later that day, Mia visited Earth's Healing Academy. She presented Kalen and Moonbloom seeds to the head healer. "These plants saved lives on Erelon," she said. The head healer bowed. "We will honor your work and learn from you." As the sun set on Earth, Mia sat alone on a hill overlooking the city. Lights, she held the crystal in her palm. She remembered every moment, the tears of fear, the warmth of friendship, The rise of hope. Mia closed her eyes and whispered into the night. Thank you, Erelon. Thank you, hunters, Siren, Drael, Rill, and every child. I will carry you in my heart always. She opened her hand, and the crystal glowed softly in the twilight. In that quiet moment, two worlds felt close. The bond forged by compassion and courage would shine across the stars forever. And in the hearts of those who believed, hope would never fade.